Hey guys, good afternoon, everybody. Sorry, good morning. Today is Thursday, September 26th. It is 26:22 right now. Market's going to open up in about 8 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and set up this room real quick, and we'll get started shortly with our analysis for today. Just got a few things here to update. One last thing. And we are good to go. All right, link is sent out. All right, everything is sent out. So as people join in, I'm going to go ahead and start marking up liquidity over here. Down to the 8 hour, down to the 4 hour, down to the 2 hour, down to the 1 hour, down to the 30 minute. And the volatility, the volatility is really flat right here. Where price is currently at, looks like it's kind of just going back and forth. Down to the 10 minute. And back down to the 1 minute here. All right, so I marked up liquidity here, guys. Closest level of liquidity above is currently at 42,504, and the closest level below is at 42,458. So there goes the two closest levels of liquidity right there. One second, guys. These allergies are getting to me. So weather change is more drastic. All right, so looking at this over here, guys, I marked up liquidity. Closest level of liquidity above is at 42,504, and the closest level of liquidity below is at 42,458. 6:25 right now. Market's going to open up in about 5 minutes. So let's see who is here so far. Morning, Daniel. Morning, Max. Let's see, Daniel said Powell is speaking right now. Yeah, I believe he was speaking. Let's see. Speaking at 6:20, yeah. So we'll see how that affects the market. And Max, big congrats to Max here. So if you guys were on the mentoring session yesterday, we saw Max, he just got paid out. So Max got his first payout from Apex. And some people complain about the payouts taking forever. Like Max got his payout in like one day or like 2 days, I guess. So there's his payout right there, total profit of 13,750. It's his first payout from Apex, and now he is officially profitable. So, Max is a good example of someone who was about to give up on trading, that wasn't really consistent. He found his consistency. He followed one strategy, basically liquidity pushes. and did really well. So congrats to you, Max. Or not your first payout, but your payout to make you profitable. Yeah, exactly. So not your very first payout, but your payout that basically brought you over the line. So definitely, Max. Big congrats to you getting that. And you, Max's example of payouts being paid out on time. I know some people complain about payouts not being paid out on time, but usually the people who are complaining about that are the people who aren't even getting payouts. So just keep that in mind, guys. I get my payouts on time usually. Depends on when you request them, but typically the payouts do come on time. So just keep that in mind. You're going to hear a lot of people complain about Apex. It's up to you whether you want to use Apex or not. But Apex has been perfectly fine for me and fine for everybody else that I personally know. So yeah, I mean, I can't find anything wrong with Apex. People always have something to complain about, but what I've noticed is the people who complain, they usually it's not happening to them. It's happening to someone else who's also complaining, and they're just complaining with them, but they're not the ones that are having issues. So just take that into consideration whenever you guys hear people complain about Apex and whatnot. So, all right, guys, let's see. Will 60 at a higher low there above the 42,548. How come that isn't a point of interest? Um, Honestly, well, I have no idea what you're talking about. 458. Yeah, honestly, I have no idea what you're talking about. But we could go over that a little later. So market's gonna open up shortly, guys, in about 2 minutes. All right, guys, if you guys are looking to take the breakout, I put the direction of the breakout in the chat. So we got market opening up in about 30 seconds. So if you guys are in the Zoom, I put the direction of the breakout for today in the chat, and I'll be looking to take that shortly. So we've got 20 seconds till the breakout. So market open. We got 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Market is open.
Order filled.
Oh, fuck. Oh my God. I fucked up, guys. I took the order on, I had to close that one out.
Order filled.
I took the order on the wrong asset. God damn it. I messed up on that one. And I also marked up liquidity on the wrong chart. Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking today. Okay, so I screwed up today, guys. My life. Breakout's still running. I had, for some reason, I had NQ open on my chart. Let me see if I can maybe get into it here. Okay, so now I think I was able to get into it a little late.
Order filled.
But for some reason I had NQ open. My chart, I'm not sure why. Let me zoom out a little bit and figure out where the parameters are for this. Okay, so the profit target is at 593, and the stop loss is at 393. And I don't know what's up with this week. I've been making so many mistakes, but all right, I'm in the position, guys. I got a little later. I just realized that I marked up the liquidity on the wrong chart. I marked it up here. That's why it doesn't show my criteria. For my login. So I'm gonna put an alert right there. So here's the breakout, guys. I'll try to zoom out a little bit. Probably on a higher time frame. Trying to get this all on screen. Okay. So there goes a breakout right there, guys. It's pushing up in profit. Let me make the adjustments over here on my top step as well. 593. All right, so as you guys can see, the market's not really moving directional. It's kind of doing the same thing it did on Monday, Tuesday. It just keeps going back and forth. So we will continue to follow this here. Again, we don't have any market flow V2s until like 6:40 anyway, so we got some time. I'm gonna have to go and log into my Apex. I'm gonna move this over for 1 second. All right, here we go. All right. So we got the trade running right now. Here, I'll just mark up the liquidity over here on this chart real quick so that we'll have liquidity on here. And I don't know how that happened. You know, because yesterday I was testing stuff out. So I'll go over a little later. I went back and I deep tested the breakout, and I ran into one road bump, like just a little bit of an issue. It's not a big issue, but it's like I try to figure out, and I'll show you the stats later. I was trying to figure out what to do in certain situations. Like, for example, if you go into a losing streak, it doesn't happen very often, but I saw it happen like a couple months ago, I think about last year. And I couldn't figure out, I'm still going to do more research on it to see if there's anything that I can, and more testing to see if there's anything that I can do to understand when to flip the position. But for the most part, what I realized is it's better to just sit out when the market's not doing what you're looking for. So we'll go over that a little later. Right now it's 6:34 right now, guys. So market still isn't ready to take the market flow V2s. There's not really much direction here. I'm looking here at the P&L. It's kind of just sitting around entry point. So going back to the breakout over here, as you guys can see, it's not really doing too much. Hopefully it'll push up in the direction eventually, but at this very moment, it's not really doing too much. You guys are not missing out on very much movement. Price is kind of just going back and forth between the the entry and our target. You guys can see it right here as well. The red line is my target. The blue line is the entry. Red line down here is a stop loss. So it's pushing in profit and it's kind of just sitting there. It's not really pushing strong like it should. Okay, so I marked up liquidity over here. I've remarked it up. The first level of liquidity right here did get hit. It was for full TP right there. If you guys took that, I'll clean that up. But again, here's the breakout. It's still kind of just bouncing back and forth from where it's currently at. Here is our main chart. Finally got that buy signal right there. I'm hoping we get the buy signal and it just pushes right through. Ideally, that's kind of what we want to see here. We want the buy signal to get that confirmation of the bullish push, and then it just shoots right through. There goes, price hit that liquidity right there. It's pushing up higher. It's not a target yet, but again, we want that buy signal to close. Once that buy signal closes, it's going to confirm the direction of price. And then once we have that direction, hopefully it just blasts right through to its TP. So there goes, price climbs up higher. You guys can see my P&L right here. I'm currently at 825 in profit. The goal here is to make about 1,500. Like I said earlier, I let these trades run. I don't really close them out early. If you guys want to close them out early, feel free, but I will be holding on to it to its full move. Oh, thanks, Daniel. Okay, so I see your question got answered right there, Will. I was like super confused about what you were talking about because I wasn't sure if you were referring to the high lows or you're just referring to, I thought you were referring to like just like a random price point, like you were identifying it as like like I don't know, like a supply and demand or something like that. That's where I was confused about because I didn't realize you were talking about the high low. But yeah, makes sense. Yeah, definitely. So on the 1 minute, I only marked it up on the higher highs and the lower lows. For the other higher time frames, I marked them up at the untested high lows. That's why it's a little different. So, all right, we got price climbing up higher right here. We finally got that buy signal I just mentioned. So the buy signal over here closed on the 1 minute. Still pending here on the 2 minute as it continues to climb up higher. 6:38 right now. Let me check the calendar real quick. We have news over here at 7 o'clock. It's medium impact. And then we have some medium impact news over here at 7:30. So we got two news events, 7 o'clock and 7:30. I was hoping our target would get hit by then, but it's looking like it might take some time here. All right, so if you guys are looking for some market flow V2s, not quite, but it's almost 6:40. So it's 6:38 right now. We have 2 minutes till 6:40. The market flow V2s would happen somewhere around this area. So in order for us to get a market flow V2, it's currently 6:39. We have about 2 minutes, about a minute till 6:40. We would need price to push up, retrace, and continue up higher. So the good thing here is that the market flow V2s are going to be in the direction of our breakout, hopefully, if it continues to climb back up. Ideally, that's kind of what we're looking for here. This type of pattern. Continue, push to the upside, retracement, and continuation up higher. Man, I hate how the market's just ranging. This whole week, market's been kind of just ranging back and forth. I mean, eventually it plays through, but it does range quite a bit before it goes in the direction that it's supposed to go in. I was hoping now that we enter the fall season, it would start to move more directional, but it's still kind of just going back and forth, as you guys can see here. So here's a clean chart. I mean, it's more obvious than ever right here, as you guys can see. Yeah, so you guys can see over here, it's super obvious how price is just going back and forth. There's like not really much of direction. Go here, mark opening price. Haven't marked that up yet. Opening price is like right at the sessions too. So it's 6:40 now, guys. Price needs to push up. Once it pushes up, we can start looking for some possible entries for market flow V2. We can't have the sell signal here though. So just a reminder, the sell signal here doesn't the sell signal here isn't going to help with the market flow V2s. Okay, so we can't take any market flow V2s here yet because we have a sell signal. In order for us to take that market flow V2, we need a buy signal first. So we need a buy signal to push price up to confirm the direction of momentum, retrace, and continue back up higher. That's where the market flow V2s will come up, and then we'll go from there. Man, I hate the sideways market. Like again, like I said earlier, we need for pretty much any strategy that we're applying, we want to have a directional push, right? Whether it be to the upside or whether it be to the downside. We need this type of movement for our directional strategies to work. The problem here is that market's just going back and forth. It's just a huge range, right? Back and forth. You guys can see where the range is currently at between the 550 and the 450 right here. It's not even a big range. It's about 100 points, but yeah, that's kind of where price is at. It's just ranging back and forth between this area. So we need to have some sort of direction here. We got news coming up at about 7 o'clock. So we'll see if that 7 o'clock news triggers any criteria for a catalyst to push price in either direction. But right now, there's just no direction, so there's not really much here to take. For the market flow V2s, we currently have a sell signal. So if this ends up coming below, there may be market flow entry for the downside. But right now, there's just for one, there's no direction, and for two, there's the trend here hasn't flipped yet. So I'm hoping here this just ends up coming right back up. We get a buy signal, then it climbs back up higher. But we'll just have to wait. I mean, this is all going to be part of a waiting game, it seems like. There's nothing really going on here. Let me see if Powell said anything today really to cause this to happen. Let's go to Bloomberg real quick. So I don't see any breaking news or updates here from Powell. It's weird. Let me go to CNBC. All right, so I don't see anything here. No update from CNBC either. So I'm not sure what Powell spoke about today, but I mean, obviously it didn't have an effect on the market because there's not really too much going on here. Price is still kind of just going back and forth. So again, price is just kind of going back and forth. You can see over here from the breakout entry from today. Let me see if we can see it better here on the 1 minute now. Yeah, there's just not really much going on here. Okay, so I guess we'll continue looking for some direction here. Once there's a direction in the market, we can start looking for possible opportunities for entry. So we still have the sell signal here. In order for us to take buys, we need to have that buy momentum. 644 right now. It's getting closer and closer to 7 o'clock, which isn't exactly a good like a good sign because the cutoff for the market flow V2s is 7 o'clock, right? So I'm hoping we get some movement here. We have about 15 minutes till 7. It's a good amount of time because at that point, price can hopefully find its stride and start moving up, and up. Otherwise, if price comes down, we might have an opportunity here for a market flow V2, but you guys can see here from the market direction, it's not really consistent at all. All right, so here goes, price pushes back up. Let's see if we get that buy signal. So we have a pending buy signal right here. Perfect. Let's see what we got here. 60. Yeah, Sam said Q3 always ending always messy. Yeah, I agree with you 200%. Until we start to get that directional move during Q4 for the holidays. So we'll see. Jason said market should move full up because Asia move up, London consolidate, New York should move up as well. But I see market manipulation. Yeah, I agree with you too, Jason, 100%. I'm actually with you on that analysis. So let's go over here real quick. Let me go on the 3 minute real quick. So I'm going to mark up what we typically mark up here. Let's go right here between 16. I'm just going to take the liquidity off here because it's not really necessary for this chart. This is just a breakout. And it just makes the chart more messy, which is unnecessary. So I'll mark that up right there. Let's go here to the midnight. Then pre-market 5:30. Yeah, I can see this right here. So you can see Asia expansion bullish. London consolidation. And yeah, back to our analysis right here, New York continuation. Yeah, so the analysis works out pretty well right here. Jason, thanks for bringing that up because I didn't even think about that. until you mentioned it. So I do have confidence that this is supposed to go up. I'm using basically a third-party analysis right there for me and Jason for what we're looking for there. So yeah, the analysis lines up like it's supposed to. It should be bullish eventually. Or I mean, it should have been bullish by now, but that's kind of what we're expecting. So there is a market flow V2 that is currently running right now, guys. I don't know if anybody took it, but it's currently running right now. If you guys want to get in late, there's a late entry right there for market flow V2. We had a buy signal right here, price pushed up, came back down to fill it. The entry happened right here at the 500 mark. So if you guys want to get into this position, feel free. I can't get into this position because I'm still in the breakout. So the good thing about this is that the market flow V2 is moving in the direction of the breakout. So it's a good sign. So the market flow V2 is currently running right here. The entry was at the 42,500 mark. We had the buy signal here, price pushed up. This red candle right here retraced back down. The whole number was right here at the 42,500. So that's where the market flow V2 came up. This is the bigger market flow V2 entry. You can see there it's pushing up right now. It's probably going to go and hit its TP. And then if price does retrace back down, there will be another opportunity for a smaller market flow V2 down here. All right, so just waiting for some direction here. All right, if you guys are looking to take a smaller market flow V2, you can possibly take it right here at the, or I would just wait actually. You can either take it here at the 510 if you really want to get in. I would just wait for it to come back down to the 500 though. It probably won't come back down in this area, but if it does, this will be a smaller market flow V2. So depending on which one you guys are deciding to take, again, the breakout is still running. I'm holding this until it hits TP or stop loss. The market flow V2, the first initial one here for 60 points is currently running in profit. If you want to take a smaller one would happen right here at the 500 mark. Same entry as this one. And if it pushes up higher, then it'll just move this up a little bit higher as well. So the 510 here, which looks like it's going to be the case. So if this candle here closes a bit higher, you would move this pending order up to the 510. And then when it comes down, it'll fill it and then hopefully push right straight to its TP. No, so it didn't really move up high enough. The entry is still right here at the 500. I know the chart is a little messy right now, but you basically want to take the whole number below or the whole level below the current pivot. So the pivot one is right here. So since it's not above this 510, your entry would still be down here at the 500. So again, right there, it would have filled. Looks like it's pushing up. Let's see if it pushes up to hit its TP. It's almost there. And looks like it hit its TP there. So this smaller 10-point move just hit its TP right there. Came down, filled it, shot right back up to tap its TP, and then that's pretty much done with. The original market flow V2 here is still running though. So this one's going to take longer to hit, of course. It's a bigger move. This one's a 1 to 2, so it's like more risk. And now in order for you to take another market flow V2, or a regular one, a 1030, you need this to push back up, retrace, and then come back up higher. So you need price to push above the pivots. You're basically looking for this pattern. You're just looking for this to happen. Repeat, right? Just repeat process of that. If the sell signal comes up, there's no more entries here for any buys. You'd have to wait for another buy signal to come up here. Again, the breakout's still running. There's not really too much direction here. Like I said earlier, guys, this isn't the ideal market to really take market flow V2s because of the minimal direction. But if you guys are taking them, I mean, they're coming up. So just depends on which one you guys decide to take. If you want to take the big one, ideally, if the market's going sideways like this, the smaller moves are a lot better because you can just get in and out very quickly rather than going for that big move. You can see over here for the breakout. The breakout still hasn't really done much of anything. It's kind of just going back and forth still. So it's below the sessions right now. This is an area of manipulation. Again, the only position that I'm in right now is the breakout. I'm not in any other positions right now. Unfortunately, I can't get into anything because I'm trapped in stuck in this position here with all of my Apex accounts, and you can't stack any positions on top of it. So yeah, I'm just holding on to the breakout right now and just waiting for this here to finally do something. But typical market for this week. I'm just hoping we get some like at least some direction, because there's been some days where the market's just been ranging and consolidating the whole day. And then I end up, well, I don't end up, but for my data, it ends up just going back and forth, and we have to get liquidated out at the end of the day, which is what I don't want to happen. Because if we get liquidated out at the end of the day, it's gonna mess up the the profit loss parameters. Because then you're not going to get a full top, you're not going to get a full stop loss or a full TP. You're just going to kind of get partial of whatever it may be. So I'm hoping we get some direction at some point, maybe at 7 o'clock when the news comes out. Let me check the news real quick. So the news at 7 o'clock is pending home sales. It's medium impact news, month over month and year over year. It's forecasted to be very, very positive. So hopefully this is the catalyst that we need to push price in our direction. But you can see pending home sales from last month was negative 5.5, and now they're up to 0.3. The pending home sales for year over year, it was negative 8.5 last year. Now it's going to push up to negative 6. So the news here is supposed to be positive. Hopefully this will work out in our favor. It'll just spike to the upside. I mean, that's the only catalyst I can kind of expect and wait for here. So the market flow V2 is still running, guys. As you guys can see right here, it's pushing back up. If you guys are looking for a smaller market flow V2, there's an opportunity right here. If it pulls back down, smaller market flow V2 will happen again right here at the 500 mark. So I'll just leave it right there. I'll come back to this a little later. So we'll just look at the new ones that are coming up. So this will probably be a new one that'll come up right here if it retraces back. Otherwise, if it climbs up higher, just look for it to retrace back up from there. But yeah, a bit of a frustrating market today, as you guys can see. There's not really too much there's not really too much here to work with. All right, so price is climbing back up higher. That's a good sign. So what I want to happen here is I want price to kind of like slowly climb up. I want it to slowly climb up, and then when the news comes up at 7, I want it to just spike up. I'm hoping that's the case. Again, if you guys want to take the market flow V2, there's another opportunity right here. Like I said, this is probably not the best type of market to take market flow V2s. I probably would just stop taking market flow V2s at this point because there's no direction. In order for you to have proper entries for market flow V2s, you need price to climb up, or you need price to climb down. But you can see over here from the clean chart, that's not happening here. Price is just going back and forth. Like literally, it's just going back and forth. There's like no direction at all. Back and forth between the range. So I guess we'll continue waiting here. So there's a sell signal that came up right here. You guys have two opportunities. You can either close out your position for a small loss, or you can hold on to it. It's up to you if you want to take it for the market. If you're in the market flows. For the breakout, I'm holding on to it. I'm not doing anything with the breakout. But for the market flows, now that an opposite signal has come up, you can either close out for a small profit, or you can just wait. This would be a lot easier if the market was moving directional, because you can just hold on to it and it'll correct back up. The problem with this market that we're currently in right now is that there's no direction. So it's really hard to give you guys a good basically a good understanding as to like whether you should, make some adjustments or not. But again, here's my breakout. This is the only position that I'm in right now. I'm just waiting for something here to happen. We got news coming up in about 4 minutes, guys. So hopefully the news will push price in our direction, and then we'll have some sort of push. But as of now, price is just going back and forth. It's weird. It's like moving like we're on a holiday. This is kind of how it's this is kind of just how it's sitting right now. It's just not going anywhere. And the thing is, the range isn't even that far out. So if you measure price from here, market opened at 630. Price is only pushed up about like 70 points or under 70 points, and it pushed down like 40 points. So today's a really, and it's surprising because there's so much news today. So I was expecting more volatility. Pre-market, we had a lot of high impact news. This is the only day that had big news. We had GDP growth rate. We had continuing jobless claims, initial jobless claims. I was expecting this stuff to really push price, and then on top of that, we had Powell speaking over here at 620. So I don't know. It's a weird day overall. Overall, it's just an unusual day in my opinion. I just don't see. I was expecting more of something to happen today. Let's see. Jason said, "You remember I set pending orders, Asia fill them in about $500." Nice work, Jason. Sam said, "Stop trading and wait for better days," or yeah. So I'll go over that a little later. So after this breakout's hit, I'll kind of go over that a little later. So I pulled up the data from this breakout entry, and yeah, basically like what you said, Sam. When the entries are not hitting, basically if you have two back-to-back losses, I would just sit out the market until it starts to move in your direction. So like for the most part for this breakout entry here, I'll show you guys the stats later. I've updated the stats. I went pretty far back. Let's refresh this. So I went pretty far back over here up until May of 2023. What I noticed here is like in August of 2023, it was just it was a big losing streak. And with this big losing streak right here, it was better to just stop trading once you had two losses and then just avoid all of these losses right here and the back and forth, and then come back when the market started to pick back up like the following month. So I'll go over this a little more in detail a little later. And that's why today is so important. So today is a really important day because we had a loss yesterday. And if we have a loss today, this is where I'm going to start cutting off the breakout for my own personal entries, at least for the time being, until we get back into like a directional market. So, I mean, we'll see. But all right, the news just came out right now. Let me pull up there goes. Price is now kind of pushing a little bit in our direction. There we go. So the news right here, let me pull this up real quick. The news for today was positive, just like I anticipated. So we anticipated this here to be positive. It was actually better than expected. It was pending home sales month over month was forecasted to be 0.3. It was actually 0.6. We're getting close to our TP right there. So my profit now is currently 885. Price pushed up super strong right there. So it looks like the market flow V2 might have slightly got triggered to its stop loss here, and then it pushed straight up after the news right there. So let me mark up the news calendar, or not the news calendar, the news price. All right. So I was hoping this thing would just push up and continue pushing, but it literally just pulled right back down. It's super annoying. Yeah, it pushed initially, and then now it's just back to being flat. Man, this market sucks. It's it's worse than I expected. Like I like a range where the market is ranging and there's some direction, but right now you can see that the range is not really. It's a range, but it's a small range. So I'm okay with the range if the range is pushing like 100 points, right? If it's pushing pretty high and it's ranging pretty far out, then great. I'm okay with that type of range. But this range is compact. So you can see over here, there's not really too much going on price. And this is a clean chart with like not much on the chart. Let me take off opening price. Yeah, you guys can see right here, there's nothing here to decipher from the market. It's really just going back and forth. Again, I'm still in the breakout. So I was really hoping this here with the news candle at 7. I was hoping it was going to push up and then just climb higher, but it didn't. We got really, really close to our TP right there, but it just ended up pulling right back down. So the next catalyst here is at 7:30. So at 7:30, we have a gas stock change. It's very low impact. And we have Fed Bar speaking at 7:30 as well. He's probably going to confirm the news that happened today. So like looking at the news here at 7 o'clock, it was both positive. So Fed Bar is probably gonna get on the mic and then confirm all this stuff here. So just looking at the data here, I mean, all the data is pretty much good for the most part. GDP growth rate is good, it's positive. Durable good orders, all positive. Jobless claims, everything here is positive. So, I mean, they should have good things to say about the market once he speaks later at 7:30. Pending home sales is up. So everything points to a bullish market. It's just the market's not being bullish. It's kind of just sitting there. I don't think there's any other catalyst for today to really help out our position. Today's just Fed day. So we have Fed members speaking pretty much all day today. We had Fed Kugler speaking at 6:10, Collins at 6:10, Powell at 6:20, Williams at 6:25. Then we have Fed Bar speaking at 7:30. Then later on today, we have Fed Kashkari or Kakari at 10 o'clock. I would expect with today being Fed day that price would be moving, but it's not. It's, again, right here, we're back at entry price for the breakout. Man, this is like the most frustrating market. Like I'd be more satisfied if it just hit TP or stop loss right away versus the sideways market. This just becomes an issue for me because if we're stuck in this sideways market, I gotta continue watching the breakout until like later today. And that's like this thing could take all day in some instances. But all right, so since there's nothing going on right here, guys, I mean, we're still waiting for this to push up bullish. Since there's nothing really going on here, I'll pull the spreadsheet back up. So like I was saying yesterday or today, I'm gonna keep back testing this farther and farther. I'm trying to figure out like where the patterns lie. So for example, right here, we had like a pretty nice win streak basically from like February up until September. And there was like one losing streak that happened over here in August. So this was August 2023. This was last year. I was trying to figure out if it was just a summer thing. But if you look over here at the August data from this year, it was actually good. We were on a win streak between August 2024 up until now. So I don't think it was just a summer thing. But I pretty much studied this entire month of August, and I was trying to figure out like what could we do to flip the position. One thing that I found is that when you have two back-to-back losses for the breakout, you can flip the position. And I pulled the data over here. So if you flip the position, you would get some pretty decent profit. The only problem here is that there's going to be one period where you go through a really, really deep losing streak. And this is where you can possibly blow your account in March. So there's two different options here. Basically, losing streaks are going to happen. You're going to have a lot of good winning streaks, but then like one time in the year or one time at some point in a year, you're going to hit a losing streak. So there's two options where you can either, once you lose a trade or lose two back-to-back trades, I have this data set right here. What I did here is I basically, once price got to these two losses, I just stopped trading until we had two back-to-back wins because that would indicate that the market was back on track. So I think this is probably the best case or the best option. And the reason for that's because you won't blow your account. You won't have trades for like a good while, like maybe a couple weeks or even a month, but you won't blow the account because the losses here don't stack up far enough. So you'll have like two losses or three losses right here. Then you'll have a bunch of wins and you'll have a couple like two losses kind of scattered throughout. So this is the difference. So this is all the data between May 22nd up until September. So if you were to just sit out the market, and this is why I think this is a better idea too, because if you sit out the market, you're not going to have a lot of back and forth. So you can see over here, there's a bunch of like wins and losses, like a lot of break-even weeks. And if you're doing that, you're going to end up with to pay fees within commissions and stuff. So you still have to pay commissions. So you just take lesser trades here. All the trades in total were 91 trades. If you were to skip the losing streak, you'd only have 55 trades. So you'd be short about 40 trades, but then you wouldn't have to pay 40 trades in commission. For this one over here, same situation, you'd have about 90 trades, but the difference with this here is that you would flip the position. So like, for example, if you were to have 2 losses back to back, then you would start taking the opposite direction. And then from there, you just keep doing that. But again, like this runs the risk of you possibly blowing your account. And the profit differential is not very different. So if you were to skip the days, you'd have 2,100 points in profit. So like just say, for example, if I was to trade 3 contracts times 5, 2,100 points in profit, that'd be 31,500 per account. And then if I was to do this one over here, 3 times 5 times 2,600, it'd be slightly different. So I'd make about like maybe about 8,000 to 9,000 more if I was to flip through. But then again, if you think about that, there's like 40 more trades there. So, so 15 times 40, you pay about 600 in commissions. So it's not a big difference, but yeah, I'm going to keep doing some more testing on this and some more research on the breakout entry. For me, I think the best case scenario would probably be to just sit out the market whenever the market's not doing what you need to. That's why today's entry is so important. So today's breakout entry is really important because if today's entry doesn't work out, it's going to be 2 back-to-back losses, right? From the 25th to the 26th. If that's the case, then I have to take a break until I have 2 more back-to-back wins. So that's why I'm hoping today's going to play out, because if it doesn't, then I'm going to have to sit out for the next couple of days, or basically next couple of days until we have 2 back-to-back wins again for me to confirm that the market's back on track. So we'll see. But yeah, I mean, this market's not really helping too much. So everything is going to be like, I mean, everything is trial and error with trading, right? That's why I pull up the data here, and I'll try to pull up more data. So like over the next couple of weeks, I'm just going to keep going as far back as possible, so I can try to see if I can find a pattern here. I've gone back to May 2023. I'm going to try to get back like maybe two or 3 more years of data, and then I'm going to see like what happens when we end up getting on a losing streak with this one strategy. So. All right, back to our charts here. So if you guys want to take a market flow V2, you can possibly take them here for a sell. So market flow V2 is here. If you are looking for this here to take an entry, you look for the retracement here, and the entry would happen right here at the 470 mark. This is where the market flow V2 entry would happen. For this here, you take a 10-30 split because the bigger move's already over with. So if you guys are looking for that, this is where you'd look for the retracement. Let's see, Daniel's asking, have you tested the 50 to 100? No, I haven't tested that, but I don't think it would work well for a negative risk reward with do you have that backwards, or do you have it, did you mean to put 150, Daniel, or do you mean the negative? I don't think the negative risk reward would work well for the breakout because it's a once a day strategy. Yeah, let's see, Daniel. No, it seems like it hits 50 every day. So I haven't tested that yet, but I already have the data from the opposite. So the data from the opposite over here, or the 1 to 2, I mean, it gets pretty bad because so what happens here basically is when it does reach the it usually pushes one direction or the other. So my next testing that I was going to do, Daniel, was actually going to be the 50-50. So Yeah, I haven't pulled the data for that yet. If anything, if that's the case where, like you mentioned, 50 to 100, then 50-50 might be better. But I haven't tested that specific number yet. But this is the positive. This is the 1 to 2. So the 1 to 2 is actually worse. I would have to test, I would have to like put the data in for it to flip, because I think the flip might work well for the 1 to 2. But I haven't put the data in here yet, so I'll put that in my notes. So let's see, I'll put that over here in my notes. Test 50-50 TP stop loss. Test 50-100 TP stop loss. Adjust. All right. So I'm gonna be pretty busy over the next couple months, really just trying to figure this out. Yeah, Patricia said the same thing. So she said if it hits liquidity, then it dumps. Also agree with the 50 as well. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back and test that because I haven't done that yet, but that was next on my list. So my next on my list was to try out the 50-50. I want to keep the breakouts to at least like a 1-to-1, but if that's the case where you have a wider TP stop loss, then you can maybe catch the 50 at each time. I mean, so you can technically you can do that now. So you know how we're taking the 100, you can use a trailing stop at the 50. I was thinking about doing that for a while. I was thinking maybe that might be the case. But yeah, I'll go back and test it. I like testing this stuff anyways, because when I back test it pretty far back, it gives me ideas as to like what to expect. I'm just trying to figure out ways that are going to be most efficient long term. Because like I said before, I'm planning on doing this for the hedge fund. So for me, I have to be on the more conservative side. But yeah, 50 to 100 could work. I mean, that kind of goes back to what we would normally take, right? With our normal scalp entries. So yeah, Stanley said he thinks 50 stop loss is too low. That's what I was thinking too. That's what I was thinking too. I think there would be a lot more losses because it's too volatile on open. So I agree with you guys 100%. Man, I'm surprised the market has not done anything. It's 7:14 right now. There's still no direction here. The breakout is still running, guys. I think this is going to be one of those days where the breakout just ends up going back and forth the entire day. So that's one thing as well that I need to factor in, because what I see sometimes is price will, like, if it ranges like this throughout the entire day, what tends to happen is I'll see price go up like really close to TP and then it'll come right back down. So I think there's going to be a cutoff time, because the actual cutoff time is, so if you guys have ever held a position until like market close for any futures platform, they just end up liquidating your position. So like wherever the position is at 1 o'clock, they'll just automatically liquidate it. So it makes more sense to just close out when you're like decently in profit. But all right, there's just nothing going on here. So here goes the range. Price pretty much faked out below the range right here, and then it just climbed right back up. Let's see, Stanley said, I think price is going to 42,250 to 42,300. I think that's pretty far below. I mean, yeah, that could be the case, but I don't think it'll drop that low. Well, I'm hoping it doesn't, because our breakout will get stopped out if that was the case, right? Let me see how far is that. Yeah. Like I'm hoping it doesn't go that far below, but I don't really see price going that low from my perspective, because looking at the fundamentals from today, just looking at the news, everything here is positive, right? So I see the drop here, or the price coming down, is just manipulation. There's just no reason for price to be coming down right now. So there's like if you look over here, all the data from today is all positive. So for price to come down, that would all be like manipulation for the most part. But if you look at the data here, I mean everything here just it just pushes price up, right? If you look at all the high impact data right here, everything here is bullish, bullish, it was all green. This right here as well, high impact, it's all green. This right here is also all green. So with the news from today, you know, the bigger market is, or the bigger movements in the market is based off the fundamentals. A lot of this technical stuff is all like manipulation for the most part. Um, because you'll see a lot of positive news come out, price will just come down to basically grab liquidity, and then it comes right back up because it's supposed to go up, but it basically comes down. So what I'm looking at here, let me just clean this up a little bit. Let me zoom out real quick. So this big drop right here, I see this as a liquidity grab because you can see a lot of people, like I could think about like the retail traders right here who are basically looking to buy the dip, right? This is usually what you see what happens a lot with trading. There's a lot of lows right here, and what happens is a lot of people try to buy the dip. So it looks like what they're doing here is they're trying to just basically stop everyone out who's trying to buy the dip real quick and then swing it all the way back up. But I don't know. I feel like the analysis right now is not really gonna, or any type of analysis right now isn't really gonna be too valid because there's just no direction. I mean, if price wasn't ranging like this, then okay, great. You know, you can probably have some sort of analysis to the upside or some analysis to the downside. But because price here is just ranging, it's really hard to tell. So like, yeah, but like back to what Stanley was saying, you know, he said he thinks price is probably going to drop down to, let's go in the higher time frame. So he said to the lower point, 42,250. Yeah, so basically what you're trying to see here is what you're anticipating is you're anticipating price to come and just wipe out the lows over here, right? I mean, that's basically what you're aiming for down here to 300. Yeah, I could see that, but the thing with this here is that see if you're seeing that, everybody's seeing that, right? So what I would see is actually the opposite of what you're seeing. So if you're seeing this right here where you think price is going to come down, then I would think the opposite. I think price would just maybe come down a little bit like it's coming down right here and then shoot up even higher to stop everybody out. Because you got to think about it. If that's what you're thinking of, there's like maybe everybody else out there is probably thinking the same thing. So you kind of have to think outside the box. And that's just like how I think as well. Like I've always been a contrarian trader. So, you know, same with the retail sentiment, right? Usually I'll look at retail sentiment and I try to do the opposite of everybody. If everybody here is short, you can see that's a lot of people who are short right now. So everybody, if all the retail traders are currently short right now, Stanley, they're basically thinking what you're thinking. So if that's what everybody's thinking, I would actually want to go the opposite. Because if everybody's going short, you already know the market makers here are going to screw everybody, right? They're going to like make it come down a little bit so people buy into these sells, but then when you least expect it, it's going to come spike right up to stop everybody out. So yeah, your analysis isn't wrong. I think your analysis is solid for normal analysis of the market because you can see here that the retail is on your side. You're thinking of that short, and everybody over here is also thinking about that short. So for me, I would actually do the opposite. I would look for some opportunities for some buys. And that goes hand in hand with our entry here anyways, because we have our breakout that's still currently running. So I'm glad that majority of retail here do think sells or more opportune. So I mean, but we'll see. It doesn't really make much of a difference. Because that's a pretty big drop. If you're looking for that drop right here, Stanley. So let's see your drop right here. That is that's like 200 points. So I don't think this will happen by today because just how the market's currently moving right now, unless there was some sort of catalyst coming up, like say, for example, there's a big news event that was happening like at 11 o'clock or something. then yeah, eventually. Yeah, no, definitely. So here's the thing, like, yeah, your analysis, I think that could be good because NFP is on the 6th, I think, right? Or the 4th. So October 4th is NFP. I think NFP will be super bullish. So over the next couple of days, let's see, we have about 5 days up until NFP. Yeah, price may continue to trickle down a little bit. And I think by NFP, it's just going to be super bullish. But yeah, the the position is still not doing anything right now, guys. So the breakout's still active. Um, I mean, it looks like I'm probably gonna have to watch it. But okay, so thinking forward, and if you guys want to keep taking some more market flow entries, guys, there are opportunities right here. So let's see. If you want to take a market flow entry, it'll be right here at the 60 mark. But it's past 7 o'clock. So the thing is, we're already in a big range, and now we're going to be in a bigger range because when 7 o'clock hits, usually the range just gets even worse. Let's see, Jason said that would be a beat back to Asia killing all the overnight move back to yesterday. That's what he was saying. He doesn't think so. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, Jason, because if it does pull back that far, it's going to wipe out pretty much the Asia movement, right? But I mean, who knows? I guess we'll just have to wait and see. All right, guys, if there's any questions that you guys have, feel free to hop into the chat. Otherwise, we'll keep watching for some more opportunities here. There's nothing here coming up yet. There is liquidity sitting down here, so that's kind of where price is pushing right now. Let's see. It's got a, let me see what I got right here. I think I'm gonna stop using Top Step, guys. I just don't think there's a need for me to trade on Top Step right now until they have like some sort of copier function. Because I'm just looking at Top Step right now, and it's just kind of pointless for me to. I should just find another prop firm that'll allow me to add it to my Ninja copier. I think that's what I'm gonna do. So I'm just looking at the Top Step platform right now. There's nothing really special about it, and it's a little more expensive compared to like Apex. But all right, so the position here is still running, guys. I'm still in the breakout. It might hit my stop loss. If it hits my stop loss, like I said before, guys, for my data, I'm gonna do some more data this tonight and tomorrow. And if I end up getting stopped out in this position, I'm gonna have to hold off on entries for until we have another back-to-back win. The entry is still technically running though, so it's still running right now. I mean, it got close to it, but not quite. And here we go. As price pushes back up further. But if you guys took liquidity over here, it looks like William took liquidity. Let's see. Yeah, it looks like a couple of you guys here took the liquidity right there for the sell. So if you guys took liquidity there, it already hit. I'm gonna take this off. Ah, man, this market is just super frustrating. I was hoping we get some more movement here, but there's just not anything going on. But yeah, like I was saying earlier, guys, this entry today is super important because if this entry doesn't work out, then I'm gonna have to sit out the next couple of days until we have two back-to-back wins. Once we have two back-to-back wins, I'll be back into taking the breakouts. I'll mark up the breakouts pretty much every day because I'll still have to document them. But yeah, I'm really hoping this thing swings all the way back up because this is just taking forever right now. We got another news event right here at 7:30. So at 7:30, we have it's medium to low impact. We have gas stock change, which is low impact, and then we have Fed bar speaking as well. Let's see. Yeah. I'm just gonna actively update this because it's just easier to do this so I don't have to do it later. So today was a buy, and I'll just have to wait for it. All right, so the market flow V2s haven't came up yet. Hoping we don't even get any here. Here's a clean chart. Looks like price just rejected off that whole number right there. So it looks like price is like respecting these basically the whole numbers. Price came down right to the 400 price right there, bounced directly off it, 42,400. I don't think there was any sessions around there, no. All right, so looks like we're getting a climb back up. Let's see if the Fed has something to do with the push back up right here. We have the Fed speaking right now in about a few minutes. 1 minute, actually. I don't think we can follow Fed bar speech, but let's hope he has something good to say about all the news from this morning. Let's see. Yeah, Jason said, bro, it's weird and annoying. Yeah, tell me about it, Jason. It's super annoying. Jason said, all now I can't figure out the setup. Uh, yeah, me neither. It's kind of just all over the place. Brock said, man, Fridays, Thursdays are becoming break-even days for him. His take is YM may be headed to 42,228. May not do so during live, but through ETH. Yeah, I mean, eventually. All right, we're gonna climb back up. Let's see. Let's climb this all the way back up to our TP, guys. Let's get this climb back to the upside right here. Volatility is just not there today. I'm surprised it hasn't like pushed 100 points yet from open. All right, so we got the Fed speaking right now. I'm gonna take a look at this on the higher time frames. 5 minute. There's actually a good area for it to bounce from. So looking at this right here, looks like a nice support on the 10 minute. Yeah, this actually looks pretty good. So looking over here on the 10 minute, price kind of consolidated here a little bit, created some structure, bounce, bounce, and a shoot right back to the upside. Ideally, this is what I would like, but we're not really in an ideal market right now. So this actually looks like it could play out pretty nice. Like maybe not enough to hit its TP, but push up and then maybe a slow climb to the upside. Preferably, I'd rather see a slow climb anyways. I'd rather see a slow climb than a big spike. So I just like to slowly climb and then hit CP. So looking over here on the 10-minute, this actually looks like a nice setup right here because it looks like this was a support level that bounced off of. Looks like price tried to manipulate to the downside right here to basically wipe out the buyers, and then now it's coming back up. So we'll see. We're getting right back to opening price. So ideally, this is where price is going to push to back to open. That actually looks like a nice setup right there. That's 3 rejections right there too. So a triple rejection off this support level. All right, so we are back in profit for the breakout, guys. Back in profit for the breakout. Let's get this higher. Bond Fed. I knew this was going to happen. Like, this is what I was explaining to you guys earlier because the news here was all positive. There's no reason for price to come down. And I figured, once the Fed starts speaking Fed bar right here, he's just going to confirm all the bullish news here. And it's going to be good for the market. Obviously everything here is bullish. GDP was good. Durable goods was good. Initial jobless claims, pending home sales, etc. So, I mean, we're back at like break even right now for the breakout. Again, I'm going to hold on to it, guys. I'm not going to touch it. So going to hold on to it and then let it do what it needs to do. But the setup right there that I marked up for the support, it's actually, it makes sense. So price over here climbed up during Asia. You got the London consolidation and then New York continuation. So this actually plays out exactly how we analyzed it, Jason. So this does exactly what we said. This is a continuation we were just talking about. So the Asia expansion over here for bullish move, London consolidation. And then what happened here is it just came back to retest the Asia high. And then now it's coming back up to where it's supposed to go for a bullish push. So again, we're just gonna have to wait for this here. There's no other entries here that are available. So, I mean, I guess we could look for some market flows if price does come back down for retracement. But for the most part, we're just gonna have to wait for this here to play through. All right, there's not really too much going on here, guys. Back to our clean chart. So you guys can see over here, prices, it's rejecting off the whole number. So price is respecting the whole numbers pretty nicely. Whenever it gets to these whole numbers, it kind of just bounces off. But it's like price didn't go anywhere. So price is back to opening price right here. This blue line is opening price. So basically all the movement that happened from open, market open right here at 630. I mean, literally price came up, didn't do anything, came back down, came up, came back down, went back and forth, came down further, came right back up. And it's pretty much where it started from. So if you're to look at this from a P&L perspective, basically where a YM is currently sitting or where the Dow is currently sitting, it pretty much didn't do anything for today. It just sat where it was. So we're back here to opening price. And we'll see here if it continues to climb up higher from where it's currently at. Again, if you guys have any questions, feel free to put your questions in the chat. There's like literally nothing for us to take here or to look at. So if there's anything that you want me to cover, feel free to pop into the chat. just waiting for this here to do something. It's now pushing up even further. So our breakout is still climbing right now. Right there. I wonder if NQ played through. Let me go to NQ real quick. Because this morning I accidentally got into NQ. Oh, that's a good thing I pulled out of that. Yeah, NQ would have demolished my accounts. This thing ended up, I accidentally got into the buy and I pulled out right away. Thank God I pulled out of that position. All right, so back here again, here is the 1 minute chart. I'll just leave it on the 10. The 10 just kind of makes more sense. Back over here on the 10, we're back in profit pretty nice. I'm in profit about 25 points. So my P&L right now, I'm currently 345 in profit. All right, we're climbing back up, guys. Nick, you said you're gonna need a beer after this. William said 2 beers and a tequila. Meet you at the bar after, right? I know it's like it's stress. It's like more stress than it needs to be because there just isn't any move. There's not enough movement for us to like I'd rather just have it hit, right? Like I just have rather have it go to where it needs to go. But we've been watching it right here. I mean, it's looking good. It's looking great actually. And just gonna have to wait for this here to continue pushing through. So I'm not gonna touch it. If you guys want to pull out for profit, feel free to pull out for profit, but I'm gonna hold on to it. The only way that this strategy works is if I hold on to it. Um, well, the only way that it works long term. So I gotta hold on to it and then I'm just hoping that it hits before market close. Because I hate when it liquidates. When it liquidates, you kind of get screwed because you end up like you don't even know where you're at when you get pulled out of the position. So this kind of reminds me of like back in the day. If you guys remember back in the day when we took we used to take US30 for 1500 pips. That was basically 150 points. But like a long time ago, we used to take a breakout that would happen on the 10-minute time frame. We'd be on the charts for like hours until it would come up. And then eventually it would come up and we would take it. And there would be some days like this where the trade would be running for, I think the longest we held a breakout for US30 was like I think almost 3 or 4 days. And it was like a crazy time because like the US30 just wasn't moving at all for a pretty long period. But this kind of reminds me of that because that's pretty much what's happening here. It's just no movement for a long extended period of time. All right, so here we are back to break even again. Just no movement. So I think what I might need to do here, guys, is that I might just have to call it a day, and I'll just let this trade run on its own. Because I think if we just keep watching it here, it's gonna stress us out and annoy us even more because there's just nothing going on here. It's like watching paint dry, right? Here's a range that we had. We're half. There's like nothing going on here. So market opened over here at 630. Basically from 630, it's just been ranging back and forth. There's no direction. Um, and it's kind of pointless to just watch this here, kind of just push through because you're just going to end up FOMOing into a position that you shouldn't get into. So, all right, guys, I think I'm gonna close it up and just wrap it up for the day. We're currently at entry right now for the breakout. The breakout is still running. I'm gonna keep it running until basically for as long as we need to hold on to it. I might have to take my laptop with me to pull this up a little later if I have to close it out. But yeah, unfortunately, today wasn't as eventful as I was hoping for. I was hoping for some two back-to-back wins as we close out the week for the breakouts. But yeah, hopefully this year hits. So hopefully over the next hour or two, this will end up just shooting to the upside and hitting its TP. Otherwise, I'll keep monitoring it on my phone. And then hopefully we'll be out of this by the end of today. So, all right, guys, if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, I'll be back here, same place, same time tomorrow as we continue on with the next breakout. Hopefully this breakout hits before we get to the next breakout. Otherwise, it's just going to be a mess. So, all right, guys, if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, I will see you guys